I honestly do this just to check to see if I'm still swole. Yeah, I'm still looking good. What's up, guys? Just Chike back at you with another YouTube video. I know I've been pretty slow. Right now, I got some stuff going on. I'm about to go to Philly to go see my sister. And, got the military in a couple weeks, about to go. I see stuff popping off in Iran. All these things. I still have to get through boot camp and everything. So I've had a lot of stuff on my plate. But today I wanted to make sort of a different video, talk about a different topic that I normally talk about. Just because I think, one thing that I learned in this book, The Way of the Superior Man, that I'm currently reading, I've actually listened to it on the Apple Bookstore through audio, and like multiple times already by now. So I'm pretty vaguely familiar with the contents of this book, but I got the paperback because I process things better with words. That giving your purpose is like the core of being a masculine. It's the way of being a superior man, and I'll go into that later in the video. But essentially, to give your purpose kind of means living on the edge of fear. It also means giving your fullest gift and being fully present with giving your gift. What is your gift? It's that unexplainable, inarticulated thing in the back of your mind that basically lets you know this is what your ability is. This is what your superpower is. This is something that you're very good at for absolutely no reason. And I think something that has dawned on me, well, it's dawned on me for a while, but I've denied it because I don't want to allow myself to become like prideful or try and have some sort of, grandiose egoism about myself, because I'm just like you. But it's my capacity to articulate things in a very definite manner and explain things that people aren't really aware of. Like, for example, I always found myself being the guy that I can help someone identify a problem that they weren't able to identify just by having a 30-minute conversation with them. And this is something that I've been told by multiple friends, multiple people. And I'm saying all this to say, I'm going to get to the video in a second, but I'm saying all this to say, I'm not a therapist. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychoanalyst. I'm not a certified personal trainer. I'm not a professional. Okay, I'm just a guy on the internet who likes to talk about things that really pertains to men's lives and women's lives. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump into the topic. What I want to talk about is simply men, women dating, gender roles, and just our interrelatedness in today's modern Western society. So this does not apply to any Eastern countries or any other countries in the world, which it can, maybe some of it, but overall what I'm getting at is just the modern dating world. And I think it's a topic that's worth being talked about, because as a man, if you think women aren't applicable, no, not applicable, that's not the right word. If you think women aren't a key corner piece in your livelihood as a man, you're wrong. And I say this to say, back early 2000s, there was a MGTOW movement. Then there was a red pill movement not too long ago. And there's black pillars somewhere. If you guys aren't familiar with these terms, look it up on Reddit or whatever. But essentially, it's this movement where there's like a group of men where they essentially are lost with women. They're not successful with women. They're really resentful of women. And because of it, they reject women. And this group is metastasized because there are people who experience that and validate the issues of other men, or maybe successful with women and validate the issues of men and let them know, hey, beware, be careful, watch out. First thing I want to address is, as a man, you cannot live without women, and women cannot live without men. I noticed that there is this sort of atmosphere in the dating world where women are like on team A and men are on team B, and we're just kind of like bumping heads, and you see like resentful women that are attractive but have some internal issues to work out, so they're not really successful at dating. That'll say, I don't need a man. I'm powerful. We don't need men. We don't need men. Guys, when you hear women speak, understand, one thing that this book taught me is that Women don't actually really say what they mean. They're saying what they feel, and they mean what they feel, if that makes sense. They're not liars. Women aren't liars, but it's like basically the way that they speak is like a feeling wave. I'm gonna actually find it for you real quick. Women are not liars. Page 58 of Way of the Superior Man. Keeping your word is a masculine trait in men or women. A person with the feminine essence may not keep her word, yet it is not exactly lying. In the feminine reality, words and facts take a second place to emotions and the shifting moods of the relationship. When she says, I hate you, or I'll never move to Texas, or I don't want to go to the movies, it is often more of a reflection of a transient feeling wave than a well-considered stance with respect to events and experience. On the other hand, the masculine means what it says. A man's word is his honor. The feminine says what it feels. A man's word is her true expression in the moment. Women saying we don't need men isn't her logically stating the fact that women don't need men. Because, when you look in the Judeo-Christian religion, or even like ancient Hebrew religions, or even you can go back as far as ancient Babylonian religions, men and women have always been seen as a unified one. And historical people of ancient times aren't exactly stupid. All right, they just weren't given the same, they just started on a different level that we're on. That's it. They started at level 1, we started at level 50. All right, we have calculus and TV, they don't. They're not exactly stupid. This is actually a fact. Men and women become one body through sex, through marriage. Why? It's because we're halves of each other. So to sit up here and say men don't need women, women don't need men, that's in and of itself idiocracy in the highest sense. And what I see in the Western media and what you see on TikTok and YouTube, speaking from a man's perspective, you see women saying these things and a man gets all in his feelings. Why are women like this? Oh, I'm angry at women. You have to understand, as a man, listen, she's not saying that because she actually believes that. Otherwise, why would she be online talking about dating? Why would she be sitting up there in Fresh and Fit's room looking mad in a mug to talk about this topic? And you see how passionate they get. It's because they care about the topic, because they love men. All women love men. The ones that even say they hate men love men the most. It's just a reflection of her emotions, how she feels about her in the dating atmosphere, in the dating realm in general. It's not exactly truth in her eyes. It's not exactly truth. And as a man, if you say we don't need women, you may be saying that as a logical fact as to we actually don't need them to survive and provide for ourselves. We know traditionally women did rely on men, and women may be saying that in the sense of, it's financial. It's like we don't need men to provide for it. But that fallacy and error comes from the idea, from the inability to look at yourself as more than just a human being of flesh. To look at life beyond, no more beyond the monetary, material level. Because if you think that you're just body and there's not a metaphysical part to you, then you're wrong. And if you don't think that metaphysical part has absolutely no relationship to your sex life and how you relate to the opposite sex, you're also wrong. You're also wrong. Now, guys, like I said, I'm not a psychoanalyst. I'm not no damn shaman or none of that, guys. I'm really just a regular dude, and this is just how I think. But it's like, as a man, you cannot sit up here and hate women. You cannot sit up here and hate women. You can't. As a woman, you cannot sit up here and hate men. Your life is harder as a man without the right woman, and your life is especially harder as a woman without the right man. And it's not about finances. It's about what's in here. It's about your soul. Successful men, why are they always dating? Because they love women. Sure, maybe a woman didn't get them to success, or maybe it did. But it's like, people that sit up here online and preach about we don't need women, women, we don't need men, cannot sit up here and say that they don't, at least they hadn't attempted dating before or after the fact. That they are not there, that they are not participating in the realm of dating whatsoever. And a guy who's doing that, if you see them, they're miserable. They're not happy about it. If they had an option to push a button and to have it any other way, they'll push it and be like, yeah, I want all chicks to like me. There's no guy that sit up here and saying, I don't want to date women. Why? Because I just don't like them. If they say that, they're probably gay. You know, not saying there's anything wrong with that, okay, on this channel. But it's just like, if they say that, they're gay. If they're straight and they're saying that, if you ask them why, they're not gonna say, oh, it's because I just don't really care for women. You know, I don't like, you know, their hips and their hourglass figure and their feminine charm. No, what they gonna say? They gonna say, because they be tripping, because they be lying, being mad, because they have these hands because they just be tripping on me, bro, because they're too weak to understand how women are. They're too weak to understand and to just deal with it and love them regardless anyway. Guys, it don't really matter how many times you get ghosted or flaked on. I'm always gonna love women because I'm heterosexual and I understand when I'm lying to myself. I understand when I'm lying to myself. As a man, you cannot spiritually be devoid of feminine energy. It's your other half. It's who you are. Men and women unified creates a stronger unit. Why is it that more successful people come from two-parent households and 80% of incarcerated inmates are from single motherhood households, single mom households? You think there is some financial disadvantage? Maybe. Sure, we could argue that. But for the most part in the West, a financial disadvantage isn't really the big deal. And not only that, but this statistic hasn't really changed much. It's because there's a spiritual element to being a person. There's a mental element, a psychological element to being a person, a metaphysical element to being a person. And women have something to do with it. Not exactly what, I'm not really too sure. Like I said, I ain't no dang on shaman. All right, bro, I'm not no dang on blue exorcist, okay? All right, but my point is guys, if you're watching my channel, women, if you're watching my channel, maturity can start with admitting to yourself that you love men and you need a man, or you love women or you need a woman to give you that peace. Okay? Now, there's more stuff that I want to talk about, but I don't want to run this video too long. But that's basically all I gotta say. You know, and I'm talking about this because this is important for men's mental health and women's mental health, for mental health in general. If you think dating has nothing to do with self-improvement, you're dumb. I'm not gonna say you're dumb. You're ignorant. Initially, you know, but ignorance can always be thwarted. Arrogance coupled with ignorance really is what's the killer. But at the same time, who am I, bro? I'm just the average guy who's gonna be an airman. So with that being said, if you guys did like the video, go ahead, comment, like, subscribe. That's my outro. Anyway, I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.